Sustainability is the ability to exist or maintain at a certain rate or level. And in the sense of our current environment, it can be defined as the capacity for the biosphere and human civilization to coexist. The ultimate goal of a sustainable world is to only use the amount of natural resources that the world produces. If we do use more, the rate of usage will exceed the rate of natural production, and eventually our world will run out of resources, and we will be living with an abundance of waste. In the fashion industry, sustainability takes a garment's entire life cycle into consideration. Any piece of clothing goes to and through many places and systems to finally arrive at the stores and into your hands. There are 5 main issues that the industry is beginning to address and beginning to find solutions for. The 5 are water usage, hazardous chemicals, short life cycle, waste, and agriculture. With water usage, too much water is typically used to produce a single garment. Hazardous chemicals are when dyes that are used to color pieces run off into surrounding communities and damage wildlife. A short life cycle is due to the fact that stores constantly are introducing new products and new sales, which makes customers want to buy more, and the clothing that everyone already owns will go out of style faster, therefore having a shorter life cycle. The 4th issue has to do with waste. When clothes are disposed of, most of it goes straight to landfills without being reused or recycled. And lastly, agriculture. Many of the materials clothes are made with are grown with pesticides and other toxins that can harm farmers, agriculture, and wildlife. No single company has yet been able to address every single one of these issues since they are all so complicated. Yet there are many innovative steps being made by hundreds of companies to reduce their ecological footprint and to become more eco-friendly. Some examples of sustainable stores are Reformation, Stella McCartney, Rent the Runway, thrift stores, and charity shops. Reformation lowers their environmental impact by providing safe and healthy working conditions throughout their supply chain, from clothing manufacturers to their store employees. Stella McCartney uses organic cotton that doesn't come from endangered forests and only partners with suppliers that meet her standards of quality and sustainability. Rent the Runway takes advantage of used designer merchandise and resells items for discount so that people don't have to pay a big price tag for designer, and they reuse to help the environment. Lastly, buying vintage and used clothing from thrift stores and charity shops is an amazing way to reduce your carbon footprint. Instead of buying new clothing, thrifters get unique pieces that can typically no longer be found in store, and by purchasing previously used clothes, they are not supporting the fast fashion movement.
At PacSun, Urban Outfitters, Nordstrom, and I thrift a lot too.
The stores that I shop at include Brandy Melville, Tilly's, Urban Outfitters, and thrift stores.
And the reasons that I shop at those stores are primarily from a style standpoint. I just like that the clothing that they sell, and also a price standpoint. It's in my budget.
I shop at both Brandy Melville and Tilly's because they both have the most upcoming style trends, and they're on the cheaper side of the clothing spectrum. I shop at Urban Outfitters because they have a wide selection and really good quality of clothes. And then I shop at thrift stores because the clothes are a lot cheaper and I can find really unique items that are vintage.
50% of my closet, I'd say, is thrifted. It's something that I like to do with my mom a lot, and it's a creative outlet. So if I do shop sustainable, it's thrifting.
I do not shop at eco-friendly stores such as Patagonia or Athletica or Reformation.
An issue that I have with mainstream sustainable clothing stores like Reformation and Athletica or Patagonia is that they tend to get really pricey. Of course, they have a great message, but they do get really pricey.
The issues I have with sustainable clothing stores are that the pricing is simply too high. Reformation, I know, has dresses that can be $200, where I can go to Tilly's and find a dress for around $30. I also find that sustainable clothing stores aren't in my area. I feel like most sustainable clothing stores are online, and I prefer to not shop online simply because I like to try on the item and see how it fits.
I think that sustainable clothing stores are 100% necessary in this day and age because of the amount of waste that we've produced and our ecological situation on the earth right now with pollution.
I think that sustainable clothing stores are definitely necessary in this day and age because it allows the materials of the goods being produced to really be produced with care and quality, and also it is better for the environment because things aren't being mass produced in factories. And it also allows farmers and other people to use their services in order to make these goods and help with the overall product and material.
Hi Sophia, so thank you for having interest in my background and being passionate about sustainability in the fashion industry. You had some really great questions, and before I go into that, I wanted to talk a little bit about my background and what I have been doing in the last probably 20 plus years. That's going to date me quite quick, but I graduated from Otis Parsons in the early 90s, and my career in fashion actually took me in a very interesting path, in that the majority of my career I was in a great role, for the most part a global role, to set the creative vision and creative assets that went across all of the world for licensors. In this case, it was Barbie, where I worked first at Mattel, and I led all of the creative vision across the globe for both soft lines and hard lines. I was there for 9 years, and then from that I actually then went to work at Disney in the same capacity, in the same type of business, overseeing their princes and fairies, and then also a new department which was developing product development, more high-end, without character. And I was there a little about 5 years. After that, I went to land a job at 20th Century Fox as the worldwide creative director and brand steward for Simpsons. And then after that, I went to a small privately owned company that manufactures mid to high-end handbags and jewelry. My opinion, based on the fashion industry and the sustainability, I don't think that companies are doing enough about this. And the reason why I don't believe that they are is because you have these companies that are of what we call fast fashion in the industry, and you see, I mean, probably every couple of weeks new collections on the floor. The consumer's appetite is large. They want to see this type of new product on the floor when they walk in their stores. So sadly enough, this cycle is fast and furious. And it's fast fashion. A lot of it is what I call disposable fashion. It's something that's not going to last long. It's of the moment. It's quite trendy. It's an impulse buy most of the time. And so that really is a huge contributor to our sustainability, or lack of sustainability, I should say. Really, we need to have a change of mindset. That's a really great question. And I personally don't. My effort when I go purchase something isn't of like that. I really are a very conscientious purchaser and consumer, and so that when I like something, I ask myself, is this something that I'm going to make an investment on? Is this a piece of garment that's going to make me and feel great about myself? Do I love it? Am I going to hold on to it for several years? Those are the questions I ask myself when I shop. And so you would be surprised that a lot of my wardrobe, I would say a good 60%, if not higher, has been there for years. It's beautiful pieces that are classic, that are really timeless, that give a wow effect when I wear them, serve a really great purpose. Obviously, I care about being on trend, but not trendy where it's very disposable. So I am very much of the mind of how I shop, not where I shop, if that makes sense. The only one that really comes to mind that I truly admire from both ends is Stella McCartney. And I think that she is really a true believer because 75% of her materials come from eco-friendly sources, but also she uses organic cotton that doesn't come from endangered forests. So she really does speak to sustainability. She really delivers that from a product perspective, and she also works with suppliers that meet her brand standards in both quality and sustainability. So she certainly practices what she preaches. Even in her stores, she uses biodegradable mannequins. So she's really a true designer that I have utmost respect for in how she takes care of our planet and yet delivers these beautiful designs. Absolutely, we have to, more so now than ever, because climate change is real, and we have to really be careful of, as a consumer, but also how we shop, how we treat our earth. You know, I am really cognizant of really being kind to our earth, but also wanting to leave this earth at a better place for the next generations, not only for my kids but my grandkids, and for everyone's children and everyone's family. So all in all, I am someone that may not totally shop in sustainability stores, but I'm a very careful consumer in how I shop. I'm a careful person in terms of how I live, and really being kind to our earth as best as possible. So I am really honored that you have interest in this area and that you wanted to know my point of view about this, and I appreciate you and hope to meet with you in the near future. So stay well, stay safe, and thank you again.